Hey, what's up, guys? Mike here, owner of Mac Financial Group, and welcome back to part 3 of our job costing series. Just wanted to say we're having a lot of fun with the YouTube channel. Really appreciate the support. If you could, please subscribe below, hit the alerts button so you can see when our new videos pop up. Again, they're going to be every Sunday. And hit the like button for us, really helps us out. And share this out with anybody else that you think will benefit from the information we're putting out. So for this video, we're going to be going over some time tracking techniques in QuickBooks Online, and we're going to do a quick overview of T-Sheets and how that integrates with the project module. T-Sheets is a third-party app that's actually owned by Intuit as well, and it can make your life a lot easier. We're not going to go too in-depth with that today. We're mainly going to go through the timesheets in QuickBooks Online, but look into T-Sheets, look out for a video on that we're going to put out a little more detailed coming up in the coming weeks. Without further ado, let's go into the screen and let's see how it works. All right, guys, so to get time tracking to work in QuickBooks Online, there is some initial company setup and a little bit of employee setup to make it all work properly. So first thing you're going to do is go up to the gear icon and click Accountant Settings. And we'll go to Advanced and go to the time tracking section here. We're going to click the pencil so we can check off these boxes. So the first checkbox here is Add Service Field to Timesheet. I think this makes sense. It allows the person entering time in their timesheet to select a specific service. It just adds another layer of detail, and you as the business owner might want to see how long it takes your employee to do a certain service to make sure they're either doing it in the time frame you expect, or maybe they're doing it even quicker so you can give them more work. It's just a good bit of detail to have, I think, so I would keep that on. The next is Make Single Time Activity Billable to Customer. I would keep this on. What this allows is there's going to be another little checkbox on the timesheet to make this time billable, meaning that you can then charge it to your customer through an invoice, and it makes sure that the actual time that was worked on the project was billed to the customer, so you're not undercharging them or even overcharging them for whatever reason. And this last checkbox here is Show Billing Rate to Users Entering Time. I actually recommend keeping this off. So what this is, if your employee goes in and enters time, and say you pay that employee $25 an hour, but you actually want to charge the customer $30 an hour for that time worked, to make up for some additional costs that you incur for having employees, like overheads and things like that. If you have this checked on, your employee will be able to see that you're paying them $25 an hour, but you're charging the customer $30, which is more than you're paying your employee. Some people might not like that. So unless you're super transparent with your employees, or you've had that conversation with them and they understand why you're charging more, I would keep it off. But for the purpose of this video, so you can see how it works, we're going to keep it on. And then the first day of the work week, Sunday usually makes the most sense, but say your week starts on a Wednesday, you have the ability to start your timesheet on a Wednesday. And you can always change this if your work week changes. So maybe it was a Wednesday and now it's a Thursday. But for this video, we're going to leave it on Sunday. So then we're going to hit save and done. So now we want your employees to actually be able to enter their own time. So you're not taking all this time to enter all your employees' time that they've been working on. So, and you might not even know, you might not be at all the job sites with them. So they're going to want to put in their own time. So to do this, we're going to do a gear icon, and we're going to click Manage Users. And we're going to add a user. So now what we're actually doing is we're giving them access to your QuickBooks Online company, but we want to give them a certain role so that they can only enter time. And that's available here by clicking Time Tracking Only. And now they'll only be able to log in and put in their time. They won't be able to see any other information on your company's books. Click Next. Select your employee. We're going to select Jane Doe. Click Next, and we're going to send Jane an email. And since I don't want to actually send an email in this video, we're going to send fake at fake.fake. So it's doesn't send anything, but you'll actually use their email, and this will be their username that they'll use to log in with. Hit save. And what that does, it sends them an email that you invited them to be a time tracker in the company. So they'll go to the email, they'll click the link in the email, they'll create their own password, and they'll be able to log in right in QuickBooks, and they'll be able to enter their time. The last piece here, if you go to the project section, and if you remember this button on the top right, the hourly cost rate, this is where you can actually put in the hourly cost it costs you for your employee. So I already put in Jane's time, $21.53, and it actually gives you a calculator where you can add in your unemployment per hour, the Social Security and Medicare costs, any workers' comp per hour, overheads per hour, so you can get a really true cost of what it costs to have that employee work for you. So it really does get detailed. It's really good. So put that time in and click done. All right, so now how to put the time in. So there's this little quick create button on the top left here. We're going to click that and go to weekly timesheet. And now the weekly timesheet is if we're selecting Jane Doe, or if Jane Doe's the one entering it, we're going to have that here. We're going to select the week that she's working in. So say she's working on the 21st to the 27th. And the first section here is to select the customer or project. And to keep with job costing, we want to make sure all those costs are under the right project. We're going to select the project. So we're going to select Joey's Kitchen. So she worked on Joey's Kitchen, and she did services for Joey's Kitchen. And she worked 2 hours on Sunday, 5 hours on Monday, and another 4 hours on Tuesday. Sure. And then say she actually worked on another project this week as well. You can go to the second line, and we're going to select Jim's bathroom. So now she also worked on Jim's bathroom. She performed services, and say she did the other 3 hours of the day on Jim's bathroom, and then the other 4 hours on this day. Now, if you remember from the settings, we selected to allow for billable time. We can select that there, and we can put in $30 here. That's how much we're going to actually charge the customer for the time that they've worked. So here's this here. It's $236 this week, so that's just $21.53 times 18. That's your cost for Jane Doe's time. And then this billable hour section here, you're going to charge Joey Barton $330 for her time, which is just the 30 times the 18. So this is the section that if you have that checked off from the earlier settings, to show the billable time on the customer's timesheet, they will not see this part if you check that off. And again, I recommend you don't show that. Again, $30 billable, and you see the billable time. All right, so she entered the time for the week. Maybe that's all she worked. We're going to hit save and close. And now we'll actually see in Joey's Kitchen here, here's Jane Doe and how much it costs. So we had some time in an earlier week, but here's the time we put in from the 21st, the 2 hours on the 21st, the 5 hours on the 22nd, and the 4 hours on the 23rd. Their cost rate, total cost, all right there, very detailed for you. And you can see that it all just adds up as the weeks go on, and you can see the total cost of how much Jane's time has cost you for this project. So you won't see that billable time until you actually invoice Joey for that. So we don't see that in here yet, but once you send the invoice for that, you'll be able to see. And then we can go back in this time activity section, and we can see for the month. Again, here's just another view on who, and if you had other employees working, you'd be able to see that view in there right here. So I hope you guys see how much easier this can make time tracking for each project, and you can really see how long it's taking your employees to work on certain jobs, and how much it just costs you. So especially if they're the ones inputting the time, you or your bookkeeper just need to set the employee up the right way, and it's no extra work to you. So I think it's a really great tool, makes it really easy, and again, it just allows you to see exactly how much you're spending on each project and making sure you're profitable for that project. So I did want to show you guys T-Sheets as well. So this app is an Intuit app. QuickBooks bought T-Sheets, and it integrates really well with QuickBooks. You can literally just hit this import button, and all of your information from QuickBooks goes in here. That's for employees, projects, all of that stuff is just imported directly in here. So it makes it really easy to just use this platform. To use the project section here, you do need to use T-Sheets Elite, which is a higher and more expensive version of T-Sheets, but I think you'll see that it's well worth it with how much time it'll save both you and your employees. So the reason is because, say you've imported it, now all your projects are in here, and there's a mobile app for this as well. Now your employee can just log on to T-Sheets, select the project, clock in, start working, and then clock out at the end, and they didn't need to manually enter their time. By clocking in and clocking out and selecting the project, it's automatically tracked how much time they worked on that project. So, and there's also a geofencing and GPS tool in here where once they get to the job, it will remind them to clock in, and you as the business owner can look and see where your entire crew is, and maybe 2 of your guys are working on one project and 2 of your guys are working on the other. You can see where they are at all times. So it's a great tool. I highly recommend seeing if it will work for you. And like I said, stay tuned. In the next couple weeks or so, we're going to go into a little more depth on T-Sheets, and have a lot more detail and show you actually how it can work. But I really highly recommend it. So that's it for today's videos, guys. Again, if you like this, if you think you're going to start using this or setting it up for your business, please hit the like button down below. And I hope everybody has a great week.